Pegasus should have died in the anime. Now, I'm not saying I don't like the character, but keeping a character alive when it makes more sense for them to be dead in order to keep the show more kid-friendly doesn't do justice to the character. Now, the reason I say it makes more sense for him to be dead is because he took the full brunt of Bakura's shadow magic and then had his Millennium Eye ripped out of his head. This is what I feel like should have happened. After Pegasus died in the anime, I think Industrial Illusions, which is the company which creates Yu-Gi-Oh cards, should have been taken over by Kaiba Corp, and Kaiba should now be in charge of creating Yu-Gi-Oh cards used for duel monsters. Let's look at the Pyramid of Light movie for instance. In this movie, Pegasus develops a new blue-eye shining dragon. Now, if Kaiba was in charge of card creation, it would make more sense for Kaiba to create the blue-eye shining dragon for his own deck. Kaiba creating the blue-eye shining dragon is way more on brand, and then later we could have Anubis sneak the Pyramid of Light into Kaiba's deck, and that would effectively write Pegasus out of the movie, and it would kind of make more sense. And then let's look at the Orichalco saga. Now, arguably, Pegasus has the most impact in this arc alone, as he develops the card Legend of Heart. This card allows you to draw the true power of the legendary dragons Timaeus, Critias and Hermos. The storyline is that Pegasus had been monitoring Paradius, which is the company that Darts owned, and Pegasus had discovered the true intentions of this company. Now, don't get me wrong, this kinda makes sense, but it also has some flaws. Let me explain. It doesn't surprise me that Pegasus had heard of Paradius, which is a great big company. However, how on earth did it lead him to get to a point where he developed a card to unlock the power of the legendary dragons? Where did he get that knowledge from? It's almost like Pegasus was 10 steps ahead, even though the events which occurred in the past happened long before the pyramids even existed. The only people that knew what actually happened were Darts himself and the people from that era. Even Arthur Hawkins, who spent his life researching the mystery of duel monsters, only discovered pieces of what occurred. Now, you're expecting me to believe Pegasus without a Millennium Eye not only discovered what occurred in the Great Battle of Atlantis, but he also realized that the 3 legendary dragons were actually warriors, and that he needed to create a card which allowed them to transform back. Now, to me, what would make more sense is that Arthur Hawkins would have discovered something which would have led Yugi and his friends to create a card with the help of Seto Kaiba, who is now the owner of Industrial Illusions. I'll tell you why I think this is better. Not only would this be a good payoff for Arthur Hawkins, who dedicated his entire life for this, his discovery would help save mankind, but it would also tie Yugi and his friends to Seto Kaiba, as they would need his help to create the card. I think this would lead to a much more interesting storyline. Pegasus was a great character, and he accomplished a lot, but he had his time in Duelist Kingdom. Why not let him rest in peace and be reunited with his love, Cecilia?